It's a new day, Raider Nation. This time in a good way. This isn't John Gruden trying to stumble his way back into the NFL, and the TV GM turned real GM. GM Dave Ziegler and head coach Josh McDaniels know what a perennial contender looks like, and that's what they're building in a hurry. This offseason, they extended all their good returning players except for tight end Darren Waller, who will get done soon. They also traded for superstar receiver Davante Adams and got superstar edge rusher Chandler Jones in free agency. And with the cuts now in, I have to say they made good roster decisions. Every decision is a football decision, not a money decision. The Raiders are going in the right direction. The Gruden regime paid linebacker Corey Littleton big money a couple of years ago, and I can't lie, he was the most fun evaluation of a free agent I've ever had. Littleton was a playmaker and seemed to be everywhere, but when he came to the Raiders, he didn't do jack. And after 2 years, I thought the Raiders were stuck with him because of his big contract, but nope. The new regime doesn't care about all that. They'd rather pay you big money to play somewhere else than to have you in the way of them winning. The Raiders are eating $4 million for cutting Littleton. Speaking of eating cap hits, I believe it was the same day the Raiders cut Littleton that they traded edge rusher Yannick Ngakoue to the Indianapolis Colts for corner Rocky Yassin. The Gruden regime gave Ngakoue big money in 2021 to get after the quarterback, and he did with 10 sacks. But I don't think the new regime saw those 10 sacks being worth how bad he is against the run. So they got their press man corner, and it made room to get Jones. The Raiders are eating $8 million for releasing Ngakoue. The Gruden regime gave middle linebacker Nick Witkowski big money in 2020, and he wasn't too bad. But that was under defensive coordinator Paul Guenther. Gus Bradley wanted something different for his defense, so he brought over Denzel Perryman, and you know the rest. I mean, who are you taking? Perryman or Witkowski? Yeah, I'm taking Perryman too. It was just an unfortunate situation for Witkowski. It was actually unfortunate for the Raiders too. They ate $5 million for this release. Thank goodness, cutting down Levitt didn't come with a big cap hit. Gruden had him on scholarship for 4 years, but it took the new regime 3 days of training camp to see everything they needed to see to cut him. Over the 4 years that he was on scholarship, he gave up way too many big plays and touchdowns. I'll give it to him for the plays he made though. He had a few interceptions, but the main job of a safety is to stop big plays and touchdowns, and too many of those happened in his area of the field when he was on the field. When the new regime brought Amir Abdullah and Brandon Bolden in, I knew someone had to go. I just didn't know that someone had to be Kenyan Drake. Drake is more talented and more accomplished than the other two backs put together, but Ziegler and McDaniels aren't simply into collecting talent. They're into bringing in guys that fit what they do. And I guess they have the 5 guys that fit what they do. Plus Drake lost a little explosion from his ankle injury. At least for the time being. That was a $3 million cap hit. If you look at players like Max Crosby, Hunter Renfro, and Nate Hobbs, you can't say the Raiders have drafted poorly. But you can say they sucked in the first round the last few years. They've had 3 first-round picks from 2020 to 2021, and none of them are on the team. And if the 3 first-round picks they had in 2019 don't show something quickly, they won't be on the team. All 3 have their 5th-year options declined, so they're going to have to earn their way. And of all of them, number 4 overall Cleveland Furl has the least hope of staying past this year. Jonathan Abram is another one of those first-round picks that needs to play more good football and less bad football. And if I were a betting man, I'd say he's going to be splitting time with Ron Harmon no matter who starts. The new regime came in with hopes of developing him into something once they got a chance to teach him the way things are done. Abram's career with the Raiders is in his own hands. If he can learn quick enough, he's going to turn his career around. If not, he'll be gone. But he has this whole season to dictate his destiny. Running back Josh Jacobs is someone I really wonder about. He's a good player that rushed for over 1,000 yards in each of his first 2 seasons, but injuries slowed him down last year. So while he's finishing out his contract this year, the new regime drafted not 1 but 2 running backs, and both can play. Oh, and I can't forget that he brought in Amir Abdullah and Brandon Bolden. 4th-round pick Zamir White can be special, and 7th-round pick Britton Brown is solid. So I can't see the Raiders offering Jacobs big money to stay past this season. From the time they got the job until now, Ziegler and McDaniels have done a good job with the roster. With Waller's contract still on the way, they did a good job of taking care of their core guys, so all they have to do is add guys instead of replace guys and add guys. Then they added superstars to each side of the ball. Adams to the offense, and Jones to the defense. Then from the preseason to now, they did a good job of trimming fat from the roster. And money wasn't a factor, they were all football decisions. I'm ready to rock with this roster. Are you? Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.